Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's LinkedIn Live session. I'm Rita Choi, founder of A-Share HRM, and I'm delighted to have you with us. Our topic for today is one that every leader, HR professional, and decision maker is grappling with. Are we using AI to strengthen human judgment or to avoid human responsibility? As AI becomes more embedded in daily operations, governance, and people decisions, the question isn't whether we should use AI. The real question is how we use it and whether it helps us make more disciplined, transparent, and accountable decisions. I'm joined by two experienced voices in governance and business operations. Mr. Dominic Ng, consultant at CW Secretarial Services. Mr. Raymond Lam, partner at Acora Seasoned Professionals. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
AI is powerful, but power without discipline can create shortcuts. Shortcuts around thinking, shortcuts around transparency, shortcuts around responsibility. So today, we want to challenge that mindset. AI should guide decisions, not replace accountability. Technology should strengthen judgment, not weaken it. And decision discipline is still a human responsibility. So before we start our panel discussion, I would love to have our viewers today to say hi to us and let us know where you are from. And you are more than welcome to put your questions or comments in the comment box. Okay, so before we start the session, maybe we start the panel conversation, I would love to have our speaker to introduce themselves so that we can know them better. So Dominic or Raymond, who would like to go first for your introduction?
Raymond first.
Okay.
Raymond.
Well, good afternoon, everyone here. I'm glad to have a chance to share my experience with all you guys here. Let me introduce myself. I'm currently a partner of the Acora Seasoned Professional Limited. So I spent 30 years in the accounting field. So my last position in a multinational company. So I work with a lot of the different function in the business, IT, HR, finance, and operation. So, but I'm very happy I have the chance here to share the AI experience with all you guys here today. So I hope you enjoy this sharing today.
Thank you, Raymond.
Yeah. How about Dominic?
Okay, my name is Dominic, and I'm been working for a company secretarial firm as a consultant for more than 10 years. And at the same time, I'm also a Slash. I teach Microsoft course, particularly in the Microsoft AI pod right now is the Microsoft Copilot and also the AI Foundry, and also is certified Microsoft certified trainer. At the same time, also as an accountant. So I would like to share my experience or my view in this session, and thanks for the invitation for Rita and Raymond.
Thank you, Dominic. So, Andrew is here. Hello, Andrew. Okay, so let's start with let's start our discussion today. So we come up with a few themes. Theme number one: AI should guide decisions, not replace responsibility. Dominic, let me start with you. When organizations adopt AI tools, where do you see the line between AI as support and AI as a decision maker?
Okay.
Dominic.
First thing, I think we need to define what is AI first. Okay. So when we are talking day to day from now on, most people are talking about the AI is talking about the generative AI. The generative AI is a pre-trained model. They are being trained to creative, and also is some sort of, because they have they can create a lot of content or context based on their training data. So the point right now is because they are pre-trained, actually they don't understand what we are talking about. They just have a high chance by probability they go through their training data to get the result that you want. Just similarly, at the old day, we use Google search, but now most of people use AI to do the things. So maybe because they have high probability or high chance to give you a right answer, so that's why people, they trust that AI can be a replacement of the decision maker or strategic thinker, okay? So actually, there's some sort of human side hallucination. We talk about hallucination is talking because of the training data is limited and they have a training day. So they will believe, the AI itself believe what they present is the correct answer. When we talk about from the human side hallucination, it's because of the human's limitation or because of their knowledge limitation. They think AI can do everything. So this is the first thing I want to discuss. Okay. Second point is about talking about the AI as a support. Okay. So when we understand the AI, they mainly is to present the answer with the what they trust or a high probability. So we cannot trust the AI answer 100%. We have to do some sort of what we usually talk about is fact check, double check, things like that. So in that scenario, AI is not a replacement for human judgment. They just create information for you, or what in other words called intelligent for you. So you can the human should understand what the information or what the intelligence they present by the AI, and then make the decision finally. So in the actual case, we use AI as a support tool rather than a final decision maker. Okay, so that's my sharing.
Thank you, Dominic. I like the way you put it. Flat check and double check, right? It's our support, never be a decision maker. Very good, very nice. How about for Raymond? From your experience, working with clients, do you see cases where people rely on AI too quickly and almost as a way to avoid making tough calls themselves?
Yes,
Raymond.
let me share the case with all guys here. So nowadays AI is this is a very hot topic. So many people they use AI every day. So I want to take an example in HR field. So many recruiters they build a board, they build tools, AI tools for to doing the recruitment. So they may receive a huge volume of the CVs. So you can easily to build a board or some AI tools to screen all the CV. So you can put the KPI, you can put the indicator here to capture the best candidate from the CV, right? So, but however, we have to think about making decision is very important to the profession. So the AI don't know what the candidate they really fit to the company culture or not. They don't know the personal relationship of the candidates. They don't know the human feelings. So if we just rely on the AI tools to doing that without making any decision or judgment, that is the point we have to seriously consider nowadays. So another example I experienced, so for example, the promotions, when I promote, if you're working in a sizable multinational company, so sometimes we have to promote the people periodically, for example, yearly. So we may have 30 or 50 candidates to be promoted. You can put it the data to the AI tools to screen the KPI, to screen how to evaluate their effort. But however, we have to consider seriously before making the judgment. So some of the data cannot be judged by the AI. So for example, whether they have the leadership, they have the very good teamwork, or they develop a very good relationship with the peers, with the subordinate, or the management people. So that is what and why when we use the AI before making a decision, we have to know what AI generate the result with you, and you have to fact check, we have to review and evaluate whether we have to make the A decision or B decision or C decision. So the professional judgment is very important to the HR people nowadays. I think if you use AI tools to doing some of the process.
I like your point that AI cannot evaluate leadership, relationship, and also teamwork, right? So for us, we need to review and evaluate ourselves. So at the end of the day, AI is a kind of support, but never be a decision maker. Thank
Agree.
you, Raymond. Thank you, Raymond. Okay, so exactly, AI can provide data, pattern recommendation, but never the final accountability. It must remain with us. If decision affects people, culture, risk, or governance, responsibility cannot be outsourced. Okay, let's move on to theme 2, transparency and decision disciplines. So let's talk about transparency. AI can make decisions faster, but speed without clarity can create blind spots. So Dominic, how does transparency support disciplined decision making when AI is involved?
Okay, when we are talking about transparency, it touched about the governance or the area of responsible AI. So when we are talking about responsible AI, we are talking about the accountability, fairness, transparency, etc., etc. Okay, so from the technical point of view, when we are talking about the AI, when we are talking about the AI is nothing new. It's about talking about 50 years or 60 years ago. At the first time, when we talk about the term AI, is talking about something we try to stimulate the action or the thinking of human. So this is the first AI. Okay. Then the second wave of the AI is within the AI category, we have the what we call machine learning. Okay, we create the algorithm using the statistic model, so we can do some sort of prediction or some sort of summarization or classification. Then next stage, we have the neural network. So it's called deep learning. Okay, it's about 10 years ago, we are talking about, we raise a lot of resources to train the model to understand something. But now introduce something that the people create the neural network, they don't understand how this AI or deep learning produce the result. So we are talking about there's a black box already. Okay, and now we are talking about GAI. The black box even is bigger and darker in the other way. Okay, so when we are trying to use the GAI or the AI we are talking about to make support decision, so we don't know how they make such decision for you or make such recommendation to you. You fall into a trap that they have nonsense. They are nonsense, or somehow they are jailbait. They jailbait the situation to give you some sort of quick answer or some sort of solutions for you, but you don't understand it. Okay, so somehow maybe in the compliance point of view or governance point of view, you are non-compliance or you do not follow your governance code of conduct. Okay, so things like that. So in other words, we have to understand how the AI help you to make such decision, and the process of AI to make the recommendation is really important, because when the new law coming, for example, AI law from Europe or some sort of new law coming from different country, one of the point is how you implement the AI. Do you understand do you understand how the AI help you to devise such answer? They are talking about one important point is the transparency. So in here, when we are talking about the transparency, we need to understand what the AI is doing about, how they can help you to do the decision. So in that way, it's more talking about the effectiveness of the decision making from the AI. So transparency, accountability, when we are talking about later, is important. So that's all for me. Thank you. Mute.
Thank you, Dominic. Earlier you mentioned different stages of AI development, right? You also come with a term that we usually see in a lot of articles. The term is black box. Can you explain a bit more about black box? What this box is like? Why is it called black?
So black box actually is there's a two side of box. Right? One called is white box. This one called is the black box. Okay. So the black box actually is something we cannot see inside. We don't know what they're doing. So there's something when we talk about in the computer language, we talk about the process input, processing, output. We understand how they process this white box. But sometimes when you write a program, you just call a function. You never know about what they're doing. So we call this a black box function. Okay, so it's just some comparison only. You understand, then it's a white box. If you don't understand what they are doing about, it's a black box. You can say that.
Wow, very nice. I love your explanation or your interpretation of black box. Oh, there is another term for white box, meaning that if you understand how decision is made, it's called the white box. But if you never know what decision is made, we don't know about the process, then it's we are in a black box. Okay, very nice, very nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we can see the importance of transparency, right? Okay, so then Raymond, what happens when organizations adopt AI without explaining how decisions are made?
Yes, I think before I answer this question, so we have to know what is the decision make. Okay, when the profession, when the senior people they make the decision, the first of thing they have to think about the fairness, the transparency, why and how they make this decision. So we can use the AI tools to make so many decisions every day. So let me take an example for promotion again. So for the professional judgment, we when we judge something, we have the base, we have the knowledge, we have the reason behind why we make the decision. So, but however, if we use the AI tools, we generate the results. So when we make the decision, for example, promotion. So why I promote this stuff, why I don't promote another stuff. So we can ask the AI to calculate a lot of the achievement, the KPI, and so far something. So, but however, when we disclose why we make this decision, we have to let the people understand. So the senior, I am using these methodologies to make the decision. For example, I know your KPI, you obtain a very high marks for some very good level. So, however, I may judge on another reasons, for example, the relationship with another people. So whether you contribute to the company goal, whether you are doing the same direction with the company. So that is all the things we have to consider when we promote a people. So, but however, the AI don't do the big picture of your company culture, your daily operation. So that is why when we make the decision before, we have to very clearly to tell the people how I make the decision for this, from this one, and this one, so that I make this final decision. So the people may feel this is a fair less. We using the AI, and when we doing the decision making, so we still rely on the professional and the human judgment and judge everything what we have before.
Yeah, we have to always to explain the process, right? Very
Yes,
nice,
exactly.
right? Okay, let's move on to theme 3, smarter tools and stronger judgments. AI is a kind of tool, right? How can we make use of this tool to make smarter judgment? So Dominic, what is one way leaders can use AI to strengthen their own judgment rather than weaken it? Dominic, we can't hear you. Are you muted?
Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry, my mistake. Okay. So first thing is that when we are talking about GAI, what's the main benefit coming from GAI? Because they can understand language, they're strong in language or strong in the knowledge base. Okay. So first thing. So when we are trying to shorten the time, when we have when we want to make a decision in a short period of time, the AI, I mean the strong part of the AI, they can make use of the compute power. They have a big storage of knowledge. things like that, they can help you to search through all your, for example, in an organization, they can go through all your internal organizational document, all your internal database to capture the required data for you and then present in, say, summary, or they can present in some sort of proposal that you want. So that's the strongest part. But in that way, when we are talking about using the GAI with your organizational data, we are talking about another technical issue. It's called RAG. Okay, the retrieved augmented RAG generated, which means that your GAI no longer use general knowledge, but they must use your domain knowledge or your corporate knowledge to help you to make the decision making. So in that way, then you make use of your cultural language, your policy database, your historical data, doesn't matter it's from customer or from your inventory, etc. They can capture the data for you and then make the presentation to you. Then next stage, when you have the RAG, you can think about how about you have a lot of financial data. Financial data, the GAI is not strong in the financial data, but you can teach the GAI to make use of some sort of computing power. They can capture the raw data and using the machine learning algorithm to do the prediction for you. So by combining the the language power and the calculation power, the GAI can somehow or in the best way, they can nail down to your company data to get you something that you need to support your decision making. Okay, so in that way, the AI can strengthen your decision and strengthen your background knowledge about the decision, and then help you to make the judgment. Okay, so in that way, it's a good way to do so. Thank you.
Wow, very nice. You move from GAI to RAG, right?
Yes.
Wow. So that we can make use of our own organization's data for AI to generate for us in order to help us support our decision. Very nice.
Yes.
Okay, so for Raymond, then what is a practical example of AI improving decision discipline in operations or HR?
Yes, for the decision discipline, so I think we can take some example to explain how AI help us to do that. So, for example, inventory management. So AI can easily to help you to analyze the sales pattern, predict the demand, and see whether we have the overstock or analysis the transaction of the stock. So that is one of the example we can use AI to make such kind of the decision to easily to understand our business patterns. So another example for HR, we can use the AI to analyze the workload data KPI for the staff, the headcount availability, the KPI evaluation, or the HR resources allocation. So that is what we can easily to do that with the AI to make the decision right now. So, however, one thing I want to point out is the quality of the question to the AI. So, if you don't understand anything, you just ask a simple question to the AI. So, AI may return a lot of the maybe unuseful data to you. So, the quality of the question is very important, and how to guide the AI to make the decision for you. So you can use a step-by-step methodologies to do that. Don't tell the AI too much at the beginning stage, and you can input step-by-step to the AI so that the AI can learn about what is the process, what is your decision-making methodologies, and give you the better answer here. So I think this is the very important thing we have to use the AI to improve the decision discipline nowadays. But we don't have too much time today. We cannot show a lot of the example here, but I think for HR is very, very good for the people to put a lot of the non-value added job here and make some decision for you. So for example, the workload. If you want to evaluate the workload of the staff, or you want to evaluate the skill, for example, skill mapping for the staff. So you can easily to use the AI to make the decision and make the better discipline here. Yeah.
I like your insight about quality question, right?
Yeah.
So I always remember there's a saying that the quality of lives relies on the quality of the questions. So when it comes to AI, right, quality question actually is very important. Can you share with me more about this quality question so that we can learn more?
Yes. Don't tell the AI don't ask the AI too simple questions. So you have to tell the AI. So like a human, if you want to know my background, I have to tell you a lot. So who am I? What is the story behind? What is the input? What is the expected output I want to have? So that is the quality and the step and the methodologies when we ask the AI. So depends on how you ask. So the output will be totally different. So that is the meaning for my understanding of the quality of the question.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
For example, I use the AI. Yes, I use the AI.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
always use the AI to build the model or the coding. So, but however, if you don't tell the AI to more details step by step, so you may got a lot of the unuseful data.
Yeah. Always begin with the end in mind, right? Maybe
Yes, exactly.
we could ask AI, this is the expected outcome. Based on the expected outcome,
Yeah.
these are the questions. Do you think my questions are of quality? Or you can come up with better question for me. Maybe you ask AI for a better question for them.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, great. So let's move on to theme 4, accountability in the age of AI. Okay, Dominic, how should organizations define accountability when AI tools are part of the workflow?
Okay, when we are talking about accountability, we go back to the standard corporate governance pillars. Okay, there are 4 pillars in the standard corporate governance. The first pillar is accountability, transparency, fairness, and integrity. Okay, so when we are talking about, we have discussed about the transparency. Now we talk about the accountability. So when there's some disaster or when there's some sort of mistake coming out, who is going to be responsible for such decision making, or who is going to be tidy up the mess coming out from such decision? Okay, so there's some idea about the accountability. When you are talking about using the AI tools, a lot of action can be taken. Say this is not my problem. For example, when there's an AI tools make us incorrect decision, or help you to make an incorrect decision in something. For example, when you are in the manufacturing process, the AI detected that there's some machine overheat. They stop the whole production line. In that way, the AI was being trained and to do such decision. So we have to rely on AI. They make the right decision. But in that way, we have a lot of questions coming out. Is the AI make the right decision? You shut down. Why don't you shut down only certain process, but you shut down whole the production line? So because it causes a lot of loss. Okay. Second point is who train the AI to do things like that, to make such big decisions without human in the loop. What we are talking about, just like we mentioned, human always get involved. That's called human in the loop. Okay. So when the training data is when the training is being done by some sort of developer or from your data coming from your internally, so who is going to be brain? And then also at the same time, you can bring that the AI tools is not suitable for that kind of job. This the marketing, the AI company marketing department problem. Okay, fine. You can deny it. Okay, you can put the blame on the manufacturer. But at the same time, who make the decision should be the board of director or IT manager to make the decision to deploy such AI tools. Okay, so the accountability when you are using AI tool, it becomes a disaster for the company because no one is going to be say I'm accountable. Okay, so when we are talking corporate governance or the IT governance, etc., when the decision making is coming from the board, they should be accountable, or the people they agree to make such strategic decision to apply the AI tool for the manufacturing. That means the board of director is 100% accountable for such decision making, and this in line with the company law. The company law say that board is the overview body to control the to monitor the operation of the company. So the board is the primary one to take the accountability. So introduced by the accountability, we introduce 3 lines of defense. The first line of defense is coming out from the front line. When they apply the AI tool, they should be accountable for the risk coming out. For example, when I say it's about the shutdown of the production line, they should understand there's a risk, how they are going to address the risk. This is the first line of defense. Second line of defense coming after the management. When they're responsible for the operation using the AI tools, okay, they should design some sort of what we call the policy, or some sort of contingency plan, or manage the risk when something coming out, they are coming out. Then the final part is coming out from the board of director or from the external party. They have to define the strategy, but at the same time, they have to understand how the impact of the strategy is going to be caused to the company. So I would say that when you are using the AI tools, the accountability should be primarily landed on the board of director, but the manager or the employee, I mean the frontline worker, they should also be accountable for this because of different risk level. So that's what I want to stress. Thank you.
Thank you, Dominic. We have some question here. Actually, there is a. So let's say hello to Juben. Yeah. So you are from Juben HR Indonesia, HR Media. Welcome. And there's a question here. How do we ensure AI improves decision discipline without replacing human responsibility?
Raymond, do you want to touch it first?
Yeah. So I also can you show up the question again? I'm sorry.
Yeah. How should organizations define accountability when AI tools are part of the work? Yeah, I think this is quite close.
I mean the question from Indonesia side.
No. He just say hello to us.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is a question from the. Oh, okay. Sorry. How do we ensure AI improve decision disciplines without replacing human responsibility?
Yeah. Let me share first. I believe the AI is not replacing the human. So many people they may afraid the AI will replace human judgment. So, but however, the human responsibility is very, very important. So that is what we said today. So we just use the AI to generate some of the output here. So the AI, they don't know your corporate, they don't know the culture, they don't know the people relationship. So the decision making and the discipline is very, very important, and still holding on the human hand to how to judge. So but before doing that, we use the AI. We have to fact check. We have to evaluate whether all of the input to the AI is correct or accurate or not. So however, it may mislead the AI to make the wrong decision to you. So that is what the human have to take the responsibility to do that, I think. And don't sometimes we don't have a lot of the excuse to block the AI. Oh, I don't want to use the AI because of compliance, because of the data security, blah 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 something. So, but that is not the reason we block the AI. We don't use the AI. But we have to think about how to effectively use the AI to make the right decision to you. That is a human responsibility, I think.
Yeah, make use of AI to make right decisions for us. Dominic, anything to add on?
Actually, I totally agree with Raymond. So when we are say you see the journey of AI this couple of years, particularly after the time the ChatGPT coming out. Okay, at the very beginning, a lot of senior management, they think, okay, I can use AI to replace a lot of say junior work, okay, junior HR work, okay, or junior clerical work. But now you can see from the trend of from American, you can say they are now to replacing a lot of people they fire before or they lay off before, and then what they want is that what the requirement of the skill set is they need to understand about how to use the AI. So that means we have more work coming out actually rather than the AI can replacing humans in the workflow. Okay, so which means that in the say the employment trend, they need a skill set of AI. They don't understand AI. That means the human must supervise the AI, what they are going to do, what they are going to produce. That means the human responsibility is getting higher and higher in the AI age. That's what we call the human in the loop.
Thank you, Dominic. It made me remember that there is a recent news in Hong Kong about the use of AI, the utilization rate of AI I think it's in Asia. And it seems that Hong Kong actually is at the top, saying that 70%, more than 70% of people in Hong Kong use AI in their work, not even in their private life. So utilization actually is I think is the number one for in Hong Kong. So we are quite proud of it. Yeah, it seems that people in Hong Kong are very they are making use of it, and they're competent enough to use AI. But at the end of the day, they are the one who has to bear the responsibility, right? But not AI. Yeah. Okay.
It's accountability.
Yeah, this is the accountability. Yes, they have to be held responsible for the consequences. Okay, so for theme 4, right? Earlier, Dominic defined what accountability is, and also went through 3 lines of defense, right? Frontline, management, and also the board of directors. So here I have a question for Raymond. So at the end of the day, we all talk about mindset, right? Whether we can make good use of the thing is all come from our thought. So what mindset shift do leaders need to adopt so AI doesn't become a shield for poor decisions?
Yes, I like the terms of mindset. So when we provide the AI training to the corporate, to the sizable company, so we always, at the beginning of the training, we always talk about the mindset. You have to change the mindset here. So everybody talking about AI right now. So if you buy a product, they say you have the AI. I buy an ice cream with the AI, whatever. Okay. So, but just kidding. So, but you have to harness the AI as the assistant, the secretary, or the mentors to you nowadays. So you have to change the mindset to fully utilize the AI. So I always strongly recommend you use the AI as an assistant. So to minimize your repetitive job, to streamline, to improve your business process. So you have to use the AI to take out the long value added job. So to do the better decision making, to make the more effective strategies planning. So that is the mindset you have to change before you use the AI. So but nowadays the AI is not only having to writing the text. So I'm also proud of 70% of the Hong Kong people, they are using the AI right now. So but however, ask back yourself a question, whether you just ask your AI to write an email, to make some text for you. So, but this is not fully utilize the AIs. The mindset have to change. So, I talk to many people. So, if some days you know how and what I can use the AI to minimize my workload, so you at that day you are fully utilize the AIs. So, but however, the mindset is very, very important to change. This is part of the change management. So many people, they don't know what I have to improve. So that is the point. So when we training, at the beginning, we change their mindset first. So you have always to think what I can ask AI to help to eliminate my workload. And then you can think about what solution AI can provide to me. For example, I can ask the AI to write the coding. I can ask the AI to do the automation process to me. So that is the mindset they have to change now. Yeah.
Okay, very good, very good. We don't know what we don't know, right? Now we know that. We
Yes.
know what we didn't know, so we have to do something about it. So
Yes.
let's move on to practical ways. Some of the practical ways 5 ways to strengthen decision discipline in the age of AI. Because today we have talked a lot about how to strengthen our decision discipline, right? Just never put your blame on your assistant, and AI is just our assistant. So the 5 ways that we have to strengthen discipline, decision disciplines are as follows. Use AI as a second opinion, not the final answer. Document how decisions are made, including AI inputs. Train leaders to question AI outputs, not blindly accept. Build a culture where accountability is shared, not avoided. Review AI-supported decisions regularly for fairness and consistency. So anything to add on about these 5 ways to strengthen decision discipline in the AI age?
Okay, maybe we
Dominic,
talk about the
Raymond?
yes, maybe we talk about the say AI as a second opinion first. Okay, so I totally agree with you. Say AI is used as a second opinion, as we always mention that we need to do the fact check, because you have to understand the AI talking about is about probability. They're using a statistical model to give you some answer, so it's a high chance to correct, but not 100% guarantee is correct. So you have to get the answer out. For example, when you want, when you want to get it more improvement, you need to put your domain knowledge, put your domain data into the AI solutions. So this is an extra work you have to do. So at that moment, if you purely using the GAI, for example, ChatGPT without modification, without the additional data, must remember they just give you a general picture. It's only a second opinion, not anything particular to your industry or particular to your decision making. So this is from my view.
Yeah, I think very true, right? I'm one of the Hong Kong girls who use AI quite a lot. At the same time, I also find a lot of mistakes made by AI. So for me, I won't trust AI 100%. A lot of time I ask AI for the source, and even the source actually was not correct. So a lot of time I have to rely on my own judgment, or maybe I should check on a few more sources in order to make my own decision or come up with my own conclusion. So very, very true. AI is only assistant. Don't rely on this assistant 100%. Okay, so always seek second opinion if you are in doubt. So Raymond, anything to add on about these 5 way that we can make good use of AI? And Dominic mentioned about comment on the first one. How about you? Would like to say something about the second one, the third one, the fourth one?
I want to say something to add on something to the third one. So training the leader.
Okay.
So turning this question to another angle. So I want to emphasize the training, not only the leaders, the junior staff, the senior staff, the organization. So we have the belief here. So AI is a very good tool for the HR to skill up the talent in your organization. So you have to provide the different level of training to in the topic from the human resources. And that is the multiplier for your productivity. So if you train up, for example, let's say, I cannot say we can train up 100% of the staff can be an expert to use the AI. For example, just 20%. So, however, the 20% people will be the Superman in your organization. So, for example, they can do a lot of the automation, the process automation, the decision making in your organization. So the Pi is very, very powerful to grow up your business, to move on your direction, to in line with the company culture and the goal. So that is why we always emphasize the productivities, the 10 times, the 20 times, the 30 times of productivities when you use the AI. So training is very important to skill up the staff. I believe.
Training, yeah, absolutely. One of the ways to upskill our employees. Very true, very true. Yes, I
Okay,
think-
maybe I would like to comment on the question on the say the decent on the 5 way, the second way, the document,
the
how
second
decisions
one.
are made.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, so when we are talking about using the AI to help you to make decisions, actually we are using a tools, not just like using the ERP system that you want to have something input, processing, output, so to support your sustainability or to get the competitive advantage. Same case using the AI tools. So when we are talking about the AI, there's also is a computer resources tools. We are talking about usually have a terms called garbage in, garbage out. You give me garbage, I give you garbage. The computer system will give you. Same case in that way. When the importance of documentation is to understand what you input and compare your output. So to build your own internal practical knowledge about your tools, how effective, how efficient is the tools coming out. And then it can be served as a source data for future development. Okay, because at that day, we are talking about ChatGPT 5.6. But when you compare from the 3.0, 4.0, 5.5, 5.6, you only about talk about 2 or 3 years. Actually, the AI model keep on changing. So you have to keep the input, compare with the processing, and then compare the output to decide the best tools you can make use. Don't chase for the version number. You chase for the best tools you can support your decision. That's what I want to share. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think for number 2 here, right, document how decisions are made, including AI input. I think this is a very good way to show the transparency of it,
Yes,
right?
and
So
also
there are
accountability.
accountability as well. So when people see,
Yeah.
oh, okay, actually my decision is made with all these reasons and so on. So people feel that is open and they will be more engaged and also feel that the company is transparent. So this is one way to prove that the company is transparent. Thank you so much. So now we have another question from the viewer today. Could over-reliance on technology weaken leadership capability over time? Could over-reliance on technology weaken leadership capability over time? This is a question.
Let me try to answer this one.
Yeah,
I'm studying some course about the leadership right now. Okay, so we have different level of leadership. For example, strategic level, management level, or technical level, etc. Okay, so the capability, when you are talking about the capability, I say is the decision making first. We just talk about decision making first. It's hard for the strategic. Okay, we need to gather the internal information or internal data or external data at the same time. So we digest all the input and then make the decision, make the strategic decision. For example, I want to go into the solar industry, okay, or because of the environment, it's talking about ESG. They are all external environment, okay. So when we are synthesize different input source to make a decision, it's not easy for the AI to understand or for the technology to understand what is the trend or the mega trend easy, or they can capture from all the web search, say what is the mega trend. But what is a real mega trend is your decision, is a human decision. Okay, so I don't think it's will weaken the leadership in decision making. But at the same time, they will weaken the leadership in the capacity of laissez-faire people. Say, I will say I'm a lazy one. Okay, AI can do something better than I do. I don't want to do the fact check, etc. They will weaken their mindset about how to make decisions. So this is the point I would like to share. Thank you.
Okay, so level for the lazy people, right? then we should not. If they rely too much on technology, then they won't prove to be a good leader, or even having their capability of being one. So, Raymond, anything to add on?
Yes, I totally agree with Dominic. So I want to add on something for the leadership capabilities. So I think we don't have to think too much nowadays. So as I mentioned before, so technology we have to adopt technology. We don't say, we don't put a lot of the excuse to block the technology. But however, the leadership capability is very, very difficult to achieve. So you guys, you're sitting here for working for 20, 30 years. So we accumulate a lot of the capability. But however, the AI, they don't know the human feelings. They don't know the relationship. They don't know the culture. They don't know the big picture of the real world. So that is the very important thing for the leadership. So if you want to promote a staff, you want to make a decision, you may consider a loss, you may have a lot of the angle to make the decisions. But however, can AI do that? Or can AI do that in 20 years later? I don't know. So, but however, if some days AI can do that, so everything will be based on rule-based. The rule-based. For the machine learning, for AI, we have to think about what's the rule-based, what's the AI judgment. So that is totally different. So if in the real world we can just everything by rule-based, so maybe everything will be very boring. So the management is very boring. Everything should be depends on the KPI. If you achieve, okay, you can go ahead. If you cannot achieve, you cannot achieve your goal, your result, right?
Very nice. Yeah. So we need to get to strike a good balance between rules, what is AI technology, and human, right? Because at the end of the day, we need to take care of the feelings of employees. We need to be more people-centric and so on, in order to be a good leader. Okay, here comes the last question. Okay, let me take a look. Okay, if you could give organizations one rule, right? Again, we talked about rule earlier. One rule for responsible AI use, what would it be? And why does it matter for long-term governance? This time, Raymond would like to go first, or Dominic, you still want to be the first? You guys to decide. If we could give organizations one rule for responsible AI use, what would it be? And why?
For me, when we are talking about using the corporate governance lens to think about how to implement our responsible AI, then we can say what is the AI is going to do. They lead the organization using the AI responsibly, so they can be accountable. Okay, so the rule is accountability. So everyone use AI must be accountable for what you are going to input, what you are going to be output, and how it can affect your decision making. And such decision will be maybe opportunity, but at the same time, it may be a risk to yourself or to your organization. So accountability is the number one for me in this in the rules for long-term governance.
Okay, very nice. Accountability. How about Raymond?
So for me, I want to put a word here: integrity. So nowadays we are not easy to block the staff to use the AI. So whatever you block everything in the company PC, they can use their mobile phone to do anything. Many people ask me a question. So how can I protect the company, the governance, not disclose the sensitive data to the AI? So, but the AI don't need the sensitive data. You have to mask the data before use. So I totally agree the governance is very important. But however, integrity training to the staff is very important for the governance. So if they don't have the mindset to protect the company, to do the to in line with the corporate governance, this is quite difficult to implement by another rules.
Very nice, very nice. I like the mindset, right? So at the end of the day, we talk about the culture. Culture will
Yeah.
make things practical instead of
Yes.
having a lot of rules and people don't really care about all these rules. So I think it's very true that integrity, accountability are one of the values of the organization, especially for a governance, culture-driven organization. Thank you so much for all your insights, and maybe any closing remarks before we end the session?
Okay, so let me do first. So when we are talking about using AI, I think the most important point is not using AI solely. You must put the human in the workflow. That means you embrace the technology, change your business model where human make the final decision. That's what I want to share. Thank you.
Technology plus human. Okay, human
Yes.
judgment. Raymond?
So my closing speech is enjoy AI. So explore more AI, how AI help you to do more automation, make a better decision for your organization.
Enjoy AI and so that AI can help you to do more for your organization. Very nice. So thank you, Dominic and Raymond, for your insights, and
Thank you,
thank you to
Rita.
everyone joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Did I mute myself? Okay, so let me finish the closing remark here. Thank you so much. Our key takeaway is simple: use smarter tools to build stronger judgment. AI can improve decision discipline, but responsibility will always remain human. If we combine intelligent technology with responsible leadership, we build organizations that are fair, transparent, and future ready. Thank you for being part of this conversation, and see you at the next LinkedIn Live session. I'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.